feel so good, I feel so numb.
And now, from the Cave of Wonders and recorded live in the presence of gods, welcome to the Rain Man Show.
Hello. Welcome to the Rain Man Show. I am ready. I am shot out of a cannon.
You're coming in hot? Is that it?
I listened to last week's show and I sounded like a drunk. So I think I put the... No, I didn't. I don't think I know. I put the wine away and I have coffee instead.
Oh, that's probably an improvement.
But now I'm jittery. And my voice is shaky and I'm very thirsty. And I'm going to sound like Rush Limbaugh in a moment where you hear all
the disgusting snapping.
All the like slurping and...
Yeah.
He is a sloppy broadcaster.
He's a sloppy man.
He really is.
He just looks dirty.
But how did someone like that become so popular and make so much money when he sounds like a sloppy, slobbery mess?
I honestly don't know,
Thomas, dude. I have bulldogs, so when they drink water, they sound better than Rush Limbaugh.
You should get the audio of that and compare them.
You know what? Patreon tier.
There we go.
Put that up on Patreon. Speaking of sloppy broadcasting, Chris Chandler during our last show, he very politely in a DM via Twitter sent me a message with a link, and it took me to a place where I can buy a cough button for the studio. And he says you might want to invest in these because of all of us dying last week.
Influenza or whatever the fuck was going on.
It was bad. I sounded like I got shot.
At one point,
Tony sounded like he got Zika. Everybody was dying in the studio. So I may look into getting cough buttons. I should get some. Honestly, it probably should have been one of the first things that we purchased when we started doing all this.
Well, hindsight's always 20/20, right?
Plus, I might want that See? Jittery. Very jittery. I might want that cough button so I can silence Andrew faster. When he talks too much, I just push that button, almost like an eject button. In fact, you know what? I'm going to install the eject button for Andrew.
It would be
You started your thought. Don't stop now.
It would be the perfect vortex killer.
Why did you stop talking?
He got
thought
scared.
my mic was still off.
He thought you were going to silence him right there.
It already killed him.
I thought my mic was still off.
I think it's funny that he has been trying to speak since the beginning of the show for the last... How long have we been on the air?
At least about 3 minutes.
Okay, so he's been trying to speak, and then finally when his mic's on, he stopped speaking.
Yep.
And then he laughs. See that laugh he just did?
Yep.
That's when I would use the eject button.
The nervous chuckle laugh?
The laugh right in the microphone.
Yep.
I think a shock collar might be better.
He might get it. He might like that. He might actually be into that.
Ooh.
But anyways, TV season has officially started, Thomas.
I know.
And
you're going to lose so many hours of your life.
Yeah. Because I'm already beyond busy because of the whole Patreon thing and the additional shows that we do. And we haven't been this in the thick of it in terms of Patreon since TV season, meaning the two of them haven't been together. Like, yes, we started Patreon last December, but we've been slowly adding. And during the summer, we added a lot of additional things. So I'm very nervous about how exactly this is going to play out. Having the Patreon,
right? It'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun because I enjoy doing it.
No, I'm saying like nothing's bad's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, you're trying the good thoughts. Is that what you're trying to do?
Positivity. You're already strung out on drugs between wine and caffeine, so I'm trying to keep it upbeat so there's not like a line of Coke one day.
Yeah.
Oh jeez, don't say that, please.
I'm just.
Hey, I'm not against it. I'm not gonna buy it because I don't want to get
But if some were to, perchance happen to fall on my desk.
Yeah, if someone were to just throw it, hold me down, and shove it in my nostril. Yes,
that's the way you want to phrase it.
Yes, shove it in my nostril, very, very firmly and hard.
That's the only way you want it.
Make sure the cocaine is very girthy.
What?
I don't know. I mean, how do you put it in your nostril? Like with a $1 bill, right? That's what I remember seeing in like Crocodile Dundee when I saw that.
With a straw, yes. You do snort cocaine with a straw.
Your reference point is Crocodile Dundee.
That's the
not
first...
Scarface or anything else.
No.
It's Crocodile
Dundee.
Dundee.
That's the first. You know how you always remember the first, right?
You always remember your first.
I was a kid in 84, 85, very young, and I remember I watched Crocodile Dundee, and he showed someone how to do coke.
I've seen those movies like a million times, and I don't remember that part.
Yeah, you blocked it out.
Meanwhile, Mike's seen it maybe like twice and distinctly remembers that part.
That's the only thing he remembers.
So anyways, yeah, cocaine. I'm definitely going to need some. Let's get back on track here, guys. Let's not try to...
No, but you're right. It's going to be a busy show season because, like you said, we started out in December.
Yeah.
And we didn't have the numbers we do now by the end of the show season.
Right.
So...
Yeah, so we're going to see what happens the next 14 days. Within the next 14 days, we'll figure out... I think the entire network will figure out whether or not I'm just going to drop down dead.
You might.
Yeah. Luckily, we're not going to Hawaii now, which, you know, that sounds kind of sad. We were planning on going to the Hawaii for the Supernatural convention, and we bailed on that at the last minute because it's just too much. Yeah. There's way too much going on. Specifically, Thomas, because we're really trying to push the whole Make TC Buy, which is also have become a full-time job.
Yeah, apparently.
And apparently, not a lot of people want it. In fact, it was funny because one of your friends commented on Facebook and said no.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, who is that individual and where can I get his phone number and his address?
I have his phone number.
Yeah, we should call him right now.
I was going to say.
I used to work with him at the radio station.
Okay. Does he know what it is, or he just being a troll?
No, he's just being a troll. That's who he is in life.
Oh, so he's not. He doesn't even listen to the show then.
No, he's just a troll.
So he has no idea about making you bisexual.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we can't make what you already are, which I'm starting to figure this out. I'm starting to put all the pieces together.
Like a detective, you're putting together the picture?
Like Columbo. And one more thing. I do, in fact, have a potential mystery guest that might know a few things about you, Thomas.
Yeah, and I'm curious as to what the fuck
you
that
will
is.
never, ever find out who it is until they call into the show. I'm not going to have him in the studio because I want to see the surprise on your face. We're going to have the live stream up. I want to capture your surprised expression.
Okay. I'm nervous about this.
Are you really? Are you a little stressed out about
it? I'm more curious.
Because when you saw the show notes, you were a little red-faced. You're like, dude, who is this? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. You will find out when they call. But they have a story. They came into the studio once, and they had a story of all about Thomas and how I know some things about him if you want me to get on the microphone and discuss.
Oh my.
Oh, Jesus.
Sounds juicy.
Yeah. And the funny thing is you have no idea, Thomas. You may think you know, but you do not know. So I'm going to save this. I think for the show when we bring Randy in, it'll be the Shit on Thomas show.
Oh, good. There's a whole special.
Yeah. And we're going to bring...
set up the clean room.
What?
Wow.
What?
He took that literally.
The clean room? Like you're going to...
Like,
is that
we're gonna
like
shit on
plastic
Thomas? We got to
tarp?
make sure it's easily cleaned up.
Oh, he wants to personally clean
The
Thomas.
clean, or as they call it in the scene, the wet room.
No, don't vortex down that that hole. You don't want to.
Ooh.
So you're going to do a little sponge bath for him? Clean him down after we shit on him? That's what you're into, Andrew?
Mm-hmm.
A tongue bath.
Yeah.
Oh.
He says gross with a grin and a giggle.
Yeah.
A shit-eating grin?
And now the phrase makes sense.
Aw.
So that'll be fun for Andrew, apparently.
Tried to see if he's going to giggle with it. Because
Right
he
in the
does
mic.
that. Yeah. Oh, man. You shouldn't talk. Thomas, when I completely get silent, there's two reasons. There's either A, there's technical issues that I'm trying to work on, or B, I'm trying to catch Andrew in a trap.
I've caught on.
Yeah. So anyways, I've been playing Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
Thomas, and I feel dirty. And
it's not that bad that you're caught playing. You could have been caught doing something much worse.
I am not a true nerd, Thomas. I'm really not. Like, no, you take the cake. Like, in terms of, I think the people in this network, I tend to like nerdy things because I'm into television and movies. So I kind of, when you like that type of thing, you gravitate to it if it's good, right? I'm not there playing Magic the Gathering. I don't have miniatures and I'm not painting them in the basement of my mother's home.
Right.
I'm not doing odd things. I don't think I'm a nerd by the true definition. I might be a geek. Geek is probably a better term, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
But I'm not into nerdy things. And Maggie's here. She can probably, because she's the farthest thing from a nerd or a geek. She's
the cool one in the room right now?
Yeah.
No. I don't want to go that far.
She's the kind of person that shows up on the date with the bike, like the Harley. And then I get on the back.
And then you ride bitch.
Yeah. She's like, do you want my helmet? Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely
He rides
believe
in my
that.
sidecar.
Wow.
I completely believe that.
He puts on the seatbelt and then puts on the helmet
And the goggles.
And the goggles.
The whole
Scarf
9
and
yards.
everything blowing in the wind.
Totally.
Oh.
And
that was enough for him.
and he's walking out.
Said you wouldn't tell anybody about that.
Gosh,
Bullshit.
what have I done? I'm so sorry.
He probably has one of those helmets that Hello Kitty type of helmets.
That she didn't even bring. That's just his.
That's his. Yeah.
No, I had to go replace my chair because Bobby last show broke it. He actually completely broke the chair.
Wasn't that an episode in itself afterwards?
Yeah, it was. We recorded it because we wanted proof that Bobby broke a chair, and I think he was actually a little annoyed. So I didn't break it. It was already broken. I'm like, listen, I sat on this before. You were here, and it wasn't broken. So I been trying to fix the chair because I'm running out of chairs between all the fat asses on this network, destroying my shit. So stupid.
That's why I sit on the couch.
And
I'm structurally sound.
I'm running out of
furniture.
Apparently.
So I was trying to fix this, and it didn't work. I almost tipped over into the equipment right now because it's literally on one side about 6 to 7 inches shorter than the rest of the leg. I don't know how one leg got shoved up on a metal chair. But thank you, Bobby.
I'll fix it.
I'm sure he's going to hit me up in a minute here on Hip Chat saying...
You piece of shit.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't tell people.
So I started playing Magic the Gathering for my son. My son wanted to get into like tabletop games and card games. And I was going to get him into like a Star Wars one or a Star Trek. But they don't make them anymore. They're not as popular anymore as the Magic the Gathering. And the reason why I say I'm filthy is because all throughout my years in school, I avoided that game. It's one of the few things I didn't gravitate to, I think, within the nerd geek culture. That and LARPing. And I've gone 30 plus years avoiding it. Well, when did it come out? 93?
1993, yes.
Yeah, 1993. So yeah, almost 30 years of avoiding it. And my son pulls me in because I wanted him to enjoy something. And it actually is fun. But I have to, I feel like there's like geeky connotations to it, connected. Like it's not
absolutely,
it's not cool. The mainstream likes Star Wars. People go see it. People go see Star Trek movies that aren't necessarily part of the uber geekiness. You don't see the mainstream playing Magic, so I feel kind of revolting. Like I stink. I automatically feel like I smell. Right. I feel like my hair is all
He's been
like
showering more. I've noticed.
Yeah, I think I gained like 40 pounds.
He only eats frozen burritos.
You bought a fedora. You're not certain why.
I'm moving back in with my mom soon.
Hot Pockets.
But that's something you're into. You're into Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying. It does have, unfortunately, the fandom does have a lot of people that make us look bad.
Mouth breathers.
Yes, I was trying to be more political about it, but yes.
Political? What show is this?
PC?
It has a lot of fat fucks.
Oh, wow.
Who don't shower.
Oh, wow.
It's true.
My brother and my buddy also play. We have stories that are horrifying.
Well, no, it's just like when you go to Phoenix Comic Con and they have the whole room set up and you walk into that room and it's like full of stank. It's like you
what
walk.
What is that god-awful smell?
Yeah, it's like a freaking wall that you walk into and it's like... I can't breathe. I'm dying.
The air's thick.
Yes.
Like a bayou.
Yes.
Like
it's horrible. You don't want to experience that ever.
So as long as you and your son continue to keep up with the hygiene, playing Magic should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also teaching him to like be tough while he's playing.
like trash talk and
be cool.
Oh no, he trash talks.
Be cool
He's
as well.
got that down.
Oh, like a
but
James
he doesn't
Bond
let him
poker
win.
player?
Wait, what? A James Bond poker player?
Like how James Bond, when he'd win in card games, he always looks cool and makes the other guy angry and pissed off.
Yeah.
That. Be like cool when you win. Is that what you're trying to teach him?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys got to talk for a second.
Is that the idea?
Yeah. No, he's so hard on him, and he does these like the special moves, like the heart attacks, and Ashton's just like, but Dad.
So there's no leniency.
There's no like.
Oh, good job! I won't attack. You win. No, that's good.
No, it's hardcore. He's growing some tough skin.
Yeah, why would I give him a break?
You shouldn't.
I destroy him. I destroyed him. I put down my my magical mage, with 4, was it like 8 power and 5 toughness?
That can't be right, but continue.
Wow. He just got uppity with Magic the Gathering.
Man. What did you get yourself into?
Michael, that's totally not correct. It's called the Planeswalker Tezzeret card, and it's only 8 power and 4 toughness.
See, he does this shit, and yet last week... Hey, Thomas, got a nerd question for you.
So he called you.
Where did Thomas go? Where did he go?
No, he called you the whole time when he was trying to figure this shit out. He's like, "Hey, Thomas, this is a question. Don't judge me, but it's for my kid."
No, that's not what I said.
I said
the gist
it's of
inferred.
It. It's the gist of it.
I said, "Hey, because I'm a good father, I'm trying to play Magic the Gathering."
You whispered it in your own home.
And Thomas was like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm trying to play Magic the Gathering."
No,
I'm sorry, Mike, you have to speak up.
Is this the right one?
Yeah, I was trying. I didn't want Maggie to hear. Right? I didn't want her to know that me and my son play in like the darkest corner of the home.
Oh, God.
I got to keep my cred up, even in my household. I got to keep it.
He does troll you, your son.
Yeah, he does. I was trying to pull up some audio. Yeah, keep talking. I'll pull some audio up. I recorded some stuff.
Because if he's given away when you guys have visitors to the house, whether it's Jehovah's Witness or the fucking mailman, I can't imagine that if and when he eventually beats Mike, especially after what I presume will be a fair amount of time losing, he's going to be just such a little shit.
Oh, no. Between Mike and me, we're both super, super sarcastic people. And so he could be losing and he's still going to talk crap to you.
Right.
Yeah. Like if he gets one shot on you, one move, like one up, it's game over.
Even if you're not going to lose, even if he's going to still lose.
Oh, he's still losing. He could be losing.
But he doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, that might be a good way for him to learn,
sportsmanship.
Yeah.
That's a lot of when people are introduced more mainstream nowadays. When people introduce kids to games, it's all about being able to take a loss or take a win with grace and not.
Well, I think that's with any like board game or card game with kids. You just want to like teach them that it's okay to lose.
It's okay for your father to beat you.
It's okay that your dad is relentless.
Not physically. Disclaimer.
Not physically, but your dad can kick your ass in.
Especially with all the rampant, nobody wins, nobody loses. We're all just participating. No, fuck that. You have to get into the reality that you're going to lose and you're going to win. It's just how it is. But I Magic could be good for him, but it could also be very bad because anybody who plays Magic knows the phrase table flip.
Oh, yes.
Which comes from YouTube.
Explain what that means, please, for the audience, for the people who used to think you're hot and now they're drying up.
Jesus. For those of you who are not familiar with the game, table flip is the colloquial term referred to when you get so angry at the opponent.
Explain colloquial.
Common used metaphor. So angry that you take the table and you literally flip it over towards them, throwing all the cards, throwing everything up in the air, and saying, fuck this, fuck you, I hate you, I'm done. And that came from YouTube, from a skit.
It was a guy named Francis.
Yeah, he's a big YouTuber. But that does happen. Not to the point where people actually flip the table, but there are people who get that fucking angry. I've dealt with a few people who got super angry, whether I beat them or just... even if I lost but didn't play the way they wanted to. So there's a lot of that unfortunately the Magic community has problems with. So
they can't handle anything. They can't handle life. I'm just joking.
No, you're totally right. Like those stigmas are still super, super prevalent. But I think that with gaming becoming more and more mainstream, we're seeing a very nice shift away from that. and just having people be.
Hey, speaking of gaming, Andrew, you're going to be doing a gaming show for the network soon.
I am,
and you have a beta. Did you send it to me?
I have not yet. I was waiting for it to export, and then we had a.
I want to play it on the air live and see what it sounds like to people.
No.
Oh, that'll be fun.
But so Thomas, I have given permission to Andrew that he can actually put together a tabletop gaming show that'll be hosted by him. He'll be the main host along with a co-host of his choice. And that's the premiere in what, November?
That is the current timeline is first week of November. Yes.
Okay.
Wow, that's soon.
Yeah, very soon, very very soon. So on Saturday we recorded a test episode, and oh dear, when you have
how did that go?
We stumbled through it. But
why are you on the mic? Does this sound weird to you, Thomas? Like he's like on eating the mic?
He moved it up a little.
I am
back up just a bit.
Backing up. Now good.
See, that's how you should sound.
This is entirely different from what I was doing during the sound check.
Because you have the mic in a different goddamn place.
Anyway, so we recorded on Saturday. It went pretty well. There were a few spots where it was just kind of rough where we.
I don't care. Never mind. I just lost. I just lost.
You have to wait till November to see the actual train wreck get his own show.
Yeah, so the reason why I started playing Magic as well is because I'm trying to give myself things to like relax and take a break.
You chose Magic.
Well, I wanted to play something with my son, and because we were playing the Final Fantasy mobile game. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah.
But politics started seeping into that game as well. And I want
real politics,
in the chat rooms, which is the entire game. You have to chat with each other. They're talking about anti-Trump this, anti-Trump that. They're going off on like all politicians, and it's really belligerent. I'm like, why are you playing Final Fantasy 15? Can we relax and chill out? So I quit playing. I lost interest in it because even a mobile app has become saturated with politics. And that's something I don't understand, this need, like for everyone to be consumed by political rhetoric to the point that they get angry and upset. If you feel like you're getting upset about something and your blood pressure is going up, guess what you need to do? You need to take a time out. But so many people feel like they need to express their opinion now on everywhere. And I'm okay with opinions, but they're belligerent.
It's just anger.
With no perspective. It's just blanket comments that they read on someone's blog that's affiliated with some news organization or news organization or even headlines. And it's just, there's no perspective as well. There's no actual thought process. And I'm just so burnt out on it. And the fact that now it's seeping into mobile games. Have you guys seen politics in mobile gaming and games?
I don't do a lot of mobile gaming, but any website I go to, any comment section, any Reddit thread, I used to go to like Ask Reddit, which is a thread where people would post questions and you have some fun interactions and some interesting questions. Every single time it's political or it's Donald Trump, and every comment, every website, every YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Every Facebook feed, all the Twitter feeds, you can't escape it.
Even
if
it has nothing to do with Trump, it is there.
Yeah, it's insanity.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't really understand it because do you remember when there was a time where you don't talk about religion and politics? Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I do.
And I've become accustomed to seeing on Facebook, and I can even deal with it now because that's what Facebook is now. It's no longer a place where you can kind of hang out, talk to people casually, express likes, dislikes in a very cool-headed fashion. Now it's just a political forum where people get mad at each other and are very toxic. And it's not just Facebook, it's also the comment section. And I posted this on Facebook the other day, and if you want to witness the scum and misery that our world has to offer, you only have to go to the nearest comment section on YouTube or
news articles,
a news article or an entertainment feed, and it's just littered with people and their poisonous way of thinking. And it's just angry. It's very angry. People are so upset about the most littlest thing. They're upset about Luke's lightsaber. Why didn't we see Luke with a lightsaber in the trailer? This is bullshit.
The fucking trailer.
Yeah, it's very very toxic. And it's not just Star Wars, it's everything. I mean, I went to Star Trek Discovery's Facebook page to enjoy some updates, And I mean, I'm scrolling through the comments because I'm getting ready for the show that we do to get, kind of like a consensus of people's thoughts. And it's just negativity based on nothing, just nonstop.
And it's like you said, you can't escape it. There is no news anymore.
No, I honestly think people have ran out of things to complain about. I think we have such a cush lifestyle in this country, and for the most part, we have not a lot of dangers as it was 150 years ago when we had to make sure we didn't get cut or scraped because we could die of infectious disease or of some type of virus or whatever infection. We have to go and hunt our food so we can eat so that we don't die. We have to prepare for the winter that's coming. And because I think humans in this country, people in this country have become so comfortable with their living and fat and just privileged. And I mean everybody, not white privilege. I think everybody has this sense of privilege and entitlement that they just want to gripe and complain because there's nothing else to worry about. This country, for the most part, is pretty damn good. And the fact that we see so many angry people bitching about everything is mind-numbing. I mean, you just had this whole entire McDonald's fiasco now. And this is what kind of leads me to the whole thing about people are running out of things to gripe about. Mobs form and are furious about this Rick and Morty connection to McDonald's, the boycott of McDonald's after thousands are turned away from a limited re-release of, was it Szechuan? Szechuan sauce. And apparently McDonald's brought it back due to the Rick and Morty hype. Mm-hmm. One of the characters in the show mentioned, I believe at the beginning of season 3, that he wanted the Szechuan sauce. And since then, people have been asking for it. So McDonald's brought it back for one day, and apparently it ran out.
Right.
The article says fans of the cult TV show Rick and Morty are furious at botched McDonald's promo. Chain brought back Szechuan sauce on a one-day release on Saturday. Was first appearance of the... Saturday... What is this, Hot Points? Who wrote this article? Since when do you start blogs like that?
Since forever. 3 years ago?
Hey, simmer down, Andrew. This from a man who can't even read a sentence correctly.
Yeah, this is correct.
A McDonald's promotion targeting fans of the cult TV show Rick and Morty has gone disastrously wrong after police dispelled chanting mobs seeking the chain's fabled Moulin McNugget sauce. Fans lined up by the thousands at McDonald's locations around the country on Saturday for a one-day taste of Szechuan sauce, but were outraged when only a few dozen packets were distributed. The sauce, previously released only in the summer of 1998. How many do you want to bet that sauce packets were actually from 1998?
From 1990. That's why there's only a few dozen, and it was one day, guys. You ate something that's 20 years old.
I hope they got sick.
Give it a couple more days.
I hope they got like dysentery. The sauce was released in the summer of 1998, and it has achieved mythical status after the quest to taste it again was revealed as the main motivation for mad scientist Rick of the TV show. He says, "I want that Moulin McNugget sauce, Morty," Rick told his grandson at the end of season 3 premiere in April. That's my series arc, Morty, if it takes 9 seasons. So because of the crazed fans that this show has garnered in a matter of 2 or 3 years, they then created this movement to get the Szechuan sauce, and McDonald's tried to accommodate. They pulled a couple dozen packets out from the storage that's been there since 1998 and said, "Here you go, you savages. Here you go. Stand back, beasts."
Yeah, I could imagine someone like handing somebody it.
I would have been scared.
You lose an angry
hand
mob to the mob.
Right.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere till his head is mounted on our wall. We must kill the beast.
Jeez. Oh.
That's Mike leading the rally at the McDonald's.
We want the sauce! We want the sauce! And now!
Are they children? They sound like little kids. I expect them to like all
You
of a
can't
sudden...
really talk when audio's playing, but oh, wow, Maggie. Go ahead. What were you trying to say?
Never mind. Just go.
Let's play this audio again. Oh wow, it changed. Good job, Daily Mail. It changed into a dolphin video. Yeah.
What? I'm sorry.
It was his dogs drinking water.
Oh.
You're right, though. They are like
I imagine them like all of a sudden just throwing themselves on the floor and start kicking and screaming and saying that they hate me because they can't have their Szechuan sauce.
I just think it's funny that with all the amount of problems that there are right now,
think of
that
the real
people
protest.
are gravitating to, like the Vegas shooting, Black Lives Matter, white supremacy. You have a group of individuals, an angry mob, with nothing better to do than go to McDonald's. And they're not exaggerating. There's probably about 1,000 people here.
I'd say at least.
And this is just at one McDonald's. I'm sure there were others. In fact, you know what? Hold on. Let me pull the video up and play it for real. Here's one McDonald's. And your mom. Do you hear what he said?
Yeah. it's YouTube come to life.
Yes.
Oh, that's the real
Give
story
that
right
guy
there.
sauce.
I want to talk to him. Oh, that's gold.
We want sauce! And your mom! We want sauce! We want sauce! And your mom!
That guy's a troll. That's like Ryan Denton.
That is Ryan Denton.
Give us sauce! Give us sauce! Give us sauce! Give us sauce!
What do you expect to happen?
Yeah, okay, so they ran out. They literally have nothing in the building.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely nothing. And
I would have, you know what I would have
There's no
did?
magic.
I would have whipped my dick out. Put it.
And be like, here's some sauce.
I just hear some sauce, motherfucker.
Give me those empty packets. I'm going to fill them up.
And just mix it with some ketchup. Be like,
Yeah,
there you
that's
go.
close enough.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's the new Szechuan jizz sauce. What is it called? Szechuan jizz sauce.
Hey, the Rain Man Show will be right back.
It's because of my fist.
It's a good story.
Patreon.com/Rainman Digital. Thomas, you know what that is?
A website.
That is a website. You are correct, sir. And it's where everybody who's a hardcore Rain Man Digital fan can go to get additional content.
Including new episodes and even prizes.
That's
shirts
correct.
And all kinds of fun things.
And even more importantly, more Rain Man Show.
Exactly.
Want more Rain Man Show shoved down your ear holes or your nostrils, wherever you like it. Head over to Rain Man. No, not Rain Man, Thomas. Patreon.com/RainMan Digital.
There we go.
Head over there now and pledge. All right, we're back. All right, Thomas. So I think in a few minutes before we get into news, I think we might play another round of Does Thomas Know?
Okay.
And I'm thinking to kind of, I want to, how like Star Wars and Lucasfilm, they're doing the whole journey to The Last Jedi. And it has lots of different events that happen to go along with that your final destination, which would be the premiere of Star Wars The Last Jedi. So just like we're doing this whole road to making Thomas bisexual, I figured we do Does Thomas Know? Gay Sex Moves edition.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
This is gonna be fun. This will be interesting. Do you have all like multiple steps planned out, or is this like Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have it all.
I don't know why I asked. Of course you already have it planned out.
Yeah, I felt bizarre looking it up,
Did you clear your history?
No, because my mom is visiting right now as well, so she just walked into the studio today while I was like Googling gay sex moves, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Luckily, she didn't see, but I still closed it out really fast.
She saw.
She told me in the hallway she saw.
All right, so Detroit firefighter fired for bringing a watermelon to the station.
I think this is my favorite news story of the week.
Mine too.
That doesn't sound so bad. Firemen are known to have cookouts, right? You bring watermelon to a cookout on the grill.
Yeah, what's wrong with
nothing wrong with
Andrew,
this.
firemen are known for having cookouts?
Yeah.
It's called their fucking job.
Oh, they're known for cookouts in Chile.
I don't.
Are you serious? They're known for chili. You know,
Yes.
Australia.
No,
I've heard that.
Hold on. Go ahead.
They make a whole thing that they cook. They're cookers and all that. So it is a thing. It is a legit thing.
So Maggie and Andrew know about the firefighter culture.
I know because I watched
They buy the
Chopped.
calendars.
Yeah.
And they just had a Firefighter edition. So they had firefighters come in from different places around the
they're
U.S.
thinking about
and they
giving
did a cook-off.
food
So
to communities. So watermelon. It's a perfect fit.
They're big.
it makes sense, right?
So
big.
one big watermelon can feed like 6 people.
What? It's Detroit.
What do you mean by people?
Oh.
All right,
Walk
so
into
That's
that
me,
one.
not you idiot.
So Detroit newspaper Fox 2 says early this month, 41-year-old Robert Pattinson went to Robert Pattinson. Isn't that Twilight?
Yeah.
Robert
Team Edward.
Pattinson went. What if he tries to get his job that way and starts hashtagging it? I didn't get my job back. I got fired for bringing watermelon to the predominantly black firehouse. Hashtag Team Edward. He went to introduce himself to his fellow firefighters at Engine 55 at Joy and Southfield in Detroit. 2nd Battalion Chief Sean McCarty calls it a tradition for firefighters. It's not mandatory, it's voluntary, he says. You come in bearing gifts. The usual gift is donuts, but you are allowed to bring whatever you want to bring in. And Pattison, a probationary firefighter, decided to bring a watermelon wrapped in a pink ribbon.
It was pretty cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's thoughtful.
We're told some African-American firefighters were instantly offended.
Wait a minute. African American firefighters?
Mm-hmm.
Those exist.
Really?
Oh.
It's not
come
no
on.
swimming
All
team,
right.
Tony. For God's sakes.
I think this is fake news.
I thought they were all scared of water.
Oh, jeez, this
Wow.
got dark.
All right.
We're the racists.
Yeah,
Right on,
right.
Maggie.
I don't know about that. All right. Since 90% of the people who work at Engine 55 are in fact black. I like how they know. I mean, what's more racist? The fact that the guy brought in watermelon,
Exactly
or that
90%.
the data exists. There's actual data out there that says 90% of the firefighters are African American. I would be more offended by that data that they just pulled out of their ass.
Yeah.
And Pattison, he says, when you get your first detail at a firehouse, you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into, says Patrick Trout. So you would have to say it was probably a bad call. Fox 2, it says it is racially insensitive to bring a watermelon into the firehouse. To some people, McCarty says, what are they, writing a book? Can you just tell me the article?
Fox 2 said is it racially insensitive?
Oh, okay.
Sensitive.
Fox 2 spoke to Pattison by phone, who claims it was not a joke, and he did not mean to offend his fellow firefighters, but he clearly did. Fire Commissioner Eric Jones says the Fenton native was officially discharged. In a statement, Jones said there is zero tolerance for discriminatory behavior inside the Detroit Fire Department. On Saturday, September 30th, 2017, at Engine 55, a trial firefighter probationary employee engaged in unsatisfactory work behavior, which was deemed offensive and racially insensitive to members of the Detroit Fire Department. After a thorough investigation, it was determined that the best course of action was to terminate the employee of this probationary employee. What?
The employment.
Oh my God! I am not reading. What am I, Andrew, tonight?
You got too much coffee in your system.
That is
You're
what.
gonna die.
Well, I'm taking myself down now with the wine.
Oh, there we go. That'll
Yeah.
even it out.
Yeah, my version of uppers and downers. So who was going to say something about this? Someone was about to pop in with some thoughts.
I don't see how that was fair necessarily to say that the best course of action was to fire this guy.
Well,
I think most of the time you could tell whether or not someone genuinely meant something.
Well, how do
negative.
we know
Yes,
that
but
he didn't?
We don't.
That's
But
with any HR.
They usually just fire.
And they just
Yeah.
fire them because it's too much of a hassle to prove that it was meant maliciously.
I think they should look at your track record.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, does
Well,
this
how
guy
would
have a
they know?
history of doing, poor jokes? Is he on the Rain Man show?
Yeah, but you can't ask those questions as HR. You can, when you call like someone's past employer, you can only confirm that they work there. You
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
No, but, like,
their history.
internally.
Yeah, their history internally.
But he was just hired. So
He was
he
just
has no.
he was
So
just
you'd
trained.
think-
Yeah, and when you're a probie, as they call them, when you're in the fire, look at
yeah.
Andrew all happy. When you're a probie, I learned that from Backdraft with Kurt Russell.
That's cool. Yeah. You're a nerd.
I've been waiting 30 years to use that term, probie.
I'm so proud of you right
now, and I finally
babe.
had the opportunity.
So proud.
So, when you're a probie, you are around for some time. You have trained, you have worked with the firefighters, you've been at every
You're
other
like an
stations.
Intern? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, this is solely based on Backdraft.
On that movie?
Yes, I don't have any. I don't have any real insight. I'm basing this on a fictitious movie starring Robert De Niro and Kurt
I've
Russell.
seen House before.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
I can perform the surgery, no problem.
So, I mean, I also know that it's similar to the police department, which I do have some experience because my father was a police officer for years. You kind of, it is an intern. You're there already. You're doing your thing. And
the ride-alongs and all that.
Yeah, so they just had transferred them over to Engine 55. I would say they probably had a track record. The guy probably had probably a history of tasteless jokes, and they didn't really want that.
I mean, he would have talked to somebody. There would have been complaints before, so perhaps that went into the decision. Because there's no, especially in this day and age where every single thing you say is recorded by someone, whether you know it or not.
Yeah.
Somebody probably knew
even
something.
if it's not, someone can say you did something, and then they're going to take it as gospel.
I think the real story is whether or not the firefighters actually ate the watermelon.
Afterward?
If they're angry, they don't get to eat it.
It's delicious. Watermelons are delicious.
I'm really pissed right now, but I'm going to eat some watermelon.
Have some watermelon. It'll calm you down.
I'm really offended, but I'm going to eat some watermelon. Also, can you bring us some...
Because they're entitled, right?
Also, can you bring us some white bitches, too, please? Can you put a white bitch with a pink bow on top of her head?
You know who I know would love this watermelon?
Listen, Andrew, if you're going to offend me, at least offend me with a fat-ass white bitch.
Oh, goodness.
How about some fried chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
You know who would love this watermelon?
You know what? If you're going to offend us, bring in a whole gamut of racially offensive stereotypes that I might like. White bitches, chicken, watermelon, pink drink. No, purple drink. Not pink drink.
Collard greens, Kool-Aid.
Pink drink is what my gay brother drinks. Yeah.
You know who would love this watermelon? Dispatch.
What?
Callback.
You tried 3
Black
times,
Dispatch.
man.
Wow, that was like,
3
cool.
times.
Good one.
Somebody call me. This is Black.
Oh, God.
This is Black Dispatch. I heard somebody call me.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so anyways, I heard you guys got some watermelon at Engine 55. Well, you know, when you're done with your shift, why don't you bring some of that on over to dispatch station, Engine 75. That's home base.
You know what? We got so much watermelon over here. I'll bring you back a whole plate
bring
full.
that. Also bring your fine Nubian ass as well. Come on now. You know, hold on. I just got a 911 call. Apparently there's a fire down on 57th Street and 9th Avenue. Hold on one second. What the fuck you want? I'm trying to get some watermelon. I ain't seeing nobody over there. It's a white neighborhood. All right, I'm back now, honey. What can I do for you? Besides watermelon. I mean, you got watermelon. What else you got? What else did that white cracker bring you?
Well, we got the chili, but everything else
chili?
has.
That's a white person thing. They've been at chili cookouts.
Ask Tony.
Tony.
Tony, I know you brought some stuff, right?
Hold on. And I want to talk to Black Tony. Black Tony. Yo, honey, you know what Black Dispatch likes. Give it to me.
You want some collard greens to start off with? And maybe we start off...
Hold on one second. What? Another white neighborhood? Ah, fuck it. All right, I'm back, honey. Go ahead, Black Tony.
You want also? How about some? I'll give you some purple drink, some Kool-Aid. Hey, Kool-Aid man. You know, like
Wait, hold on a second. You sound like a white man. I just dried up.
Oh.
Wow.
Thank God no one employs us, right?
Right.
No one ever will. No one ever will.
Yeah.
Hey,
we all lost our jobs.
It's in parody. Hey, when we were broadcasting on KROP, they got phone calls.
That's true.
And they said, "Who are these people, and why are they on your airwaves?"
That's how you know you made it.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't have no problem with that. Hey, look, it's in parody. Thomas.
Yeah.
Like when I got a complaint, an email about me dropping the N-bomb at the end of last week's show. It was kind of like a disappointment. in the email. And I'm like, I responded. I said, hey, look, Steve, I think most people realize that listen to the show know that I am the farthest thing from racist. However, there's certain things you do in parody. And I was in character. And from now on, when I want to say something offensive, I'm just going to be in character.
There you go. And here it is.
Yeah. I had no problem. I was listening last week's show. I wasn't offended by it.
No? You're a fan?
No, the Queen. She knew what she was talking about, calling Tony, I'm not going to use it right now because I'm not in the moment. But when the Queen of England called Tony, what did you call him, Thomas?
Well, we can say indentured servant.
No, it was something different. What else? What was the actual name? I can't. It's not coming to me. What's the name?
I have sudden onset amnesia.
Oh, it was House Inn. We'll just say House Inn. I have no problem with that because, listen, everybody knows there was house nins around back in those days.
House nins?
And Tony sounded like one. He sounded like one, and it was very offensive.
Hey, someone's going to the big house tonight. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's always your go-to, the big house. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to put Andrew, this silly white cracker, in the box.
Oh, I don't want to go in a box.
I like how a lot of his references are from Roots and Django Unchained.
That's history, Thomas. That's history. Thomas, how dare you?
I'm just saying. It's interesting.
How dare you mock history?
Yeah.
Didn't mock it, just making an observation.
Yeah, I get my jokes or my knowledge on firefighters from a movie from 1993. And Tony gets all his black history from Django Unchained.
You guys have no clue what a great person Calvin Candy was.
Oh my God.
Wow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? This is Blizzard. Whoa. Oh, no, my march broke.
I threw him off.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm out of batteries.
Dispatch is out of order.
I think I'm out of batteries.
The fit that he had.
Hello, honey.
Oh.
We'll have to talk to her on another day.
She's on a call. She's taking a call. It's okay.
Another white neighborhood burned down.
Yeah. Oh, well. Hey, Andrew, are you ready for news soon?
I'm ready for the news.
All right, let's get you primed and ready. Are you primed and ready?
No.
My thighs are lubricated.
All right, get the red rocket out and let's begin.
Oh.
I ate a bunch of cum. It's common knowledge. Just cum in my butt.
Oh, jeez.
And now it's time for news with Andrew.
I ate a bunch of cum. A wanted man says he will turn himself in to the police if he gets 1,000 Facebook shares. The wanted man wanted something in return for him turning himself in 1,000 shares on Facebook.
Social media is a disease.
Wow.
It is. I honestly think it's a disease. It's a psychological disorder.
Yeah.
When I think a lot of people are inflicted with. It's a real issue.
Well,
I think people are consumed with it.
Look at it this way. In this particular instance, we find the stupid criminals. We find them easily through social media.
That's true. In the past, police departments have baited people saying did you do this? And the person comments yeah, I did that. It's cool, I got you.
No one forced him to go to the cops after he got his 1,000th like.
Yeah.
That's true.
What else does it say, Andrew?
The Detroit area man who calls himself Champagne Torino.
Oh, that's
guilty.
Yeah.
The stupidity level just went up even further.
I like
Made
it.
the challenge on Friday to the
Listen,
Redford.
even I know that he's guilty. What was his name again, honey? Go ahead and say it one more time for me.
Champagne
Oh,
Torino.
guilty.
That's the best name.
And sexy as well.
Can I take that name now? I want to be called Champagne Torino.
There you go. That's Tony's new name.
That sounds like Tony's porn star name.
Right?
Made the challenge on Friday to the Redford Township Police Department. It came after Torino left a message that some people might construe as negative on a post regarding a home invasion.
When oh man, I'm just having a bad night tonight, honey. Oh my God, what's going on here?
Oh my God.
Hello, honey.
Awful.
She's trapped in a pocket dimension.
She found Atlantis. The person manning the department's Facebook page threatened to ban Torino from the page.
Yeah, I've actually dated this man. There's a black dispatcher. We haven't figured it out yet. And I actually dated this man before, and in bed I called him Grand Torino.
Since Torino already has several arrest warrants against him, it's a wonder he was on the page at all. It's unclear what his arrests are for at this current time. Still, the threat of a ban sparked his creative nature, and he promised to turn himself in to the department's if the department's next post got 1,000 shares. He also sweetened the deal by promising to come with a dozen donuts and pick up every piece of litter around local schools. The department happily accepted the challenge, of course, joking that the donuts were the key element. Within an hour, the post had more than 1,000 shares. Since Friday, it had been shared more than 4,200 times. As of Tuesday afternoon, Torino had, of course, yet to show up at the police department with the donuts in hand, a department official told Huffington Post.
And that's why he's really being arrested.
Yeah, like, hey, excuse me, you said you were going to bring donuts. Be fair.
That's it. Book 'em, boys.
What else did it say?
Officers tried to be philosophical about it on a post, explaining that everyone gets caught at some point.
Wow.
Huffington Post tried to reach out to Torino on Facebook, but did not immediately respond. His Facebook page lists him as living in Auburn Hills and describes him as head savage for a local manufacturing company.
Head savage.
Idiot.
That's all right.
Idiot.
Yep.
What else do we have in the news, Andrew? What else do we have in the news? Please get us to that next topic.
A man lived with the corpse of his twin brother, for a year, according to police.
That's sexy.
This is a real life Psycho.
Yeah.
The movie.
Yeah.
But it's sexy.
Norman Bates.
He just really wants to be Ed Gein.
All right, no commentary. Please continue with the news.
A man who lived with the decaying bodies of his dead mother and twin brother for more than a year said he didn't report their deaths because he was traumatized. Robert James Kolfler, age 60, was charged last week by police in White Bear, Minnesota. In White Bear, Minnesota, with interference with a dead body or scene of death, which is a misdemeanor according to Inside Edition. The macabre living situation came to light in September 2016 when neighbors asked the police to check in on Kolfler's residence. The responding officers said the house had a stench of decay. They found the skeletal remains of Kolfler's mother, Evelyn, in an upstairs bedroom, and the mummified corpse of his twin brother, Richard, in the basement.
Is that against the law? That you cannot have dead people in your home?
No.
It's actually stated someplace?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Autopsies on the bodies showed both died of natural causes. Richard in July 2015 and his mother a month later.
If natural causes means a knife to the throat, then very well.
He naturally was strangled.
He naturally...
I used my hand.
He naturally died after the hammer hit him in the back of the head. And it caused a rapid naturalization of death.
Wow.
I wish
best explanation of death ever.
I want scientist Tony.
Yes.
To explain the world to me.
Like Tony will...
Wearing a lab coat.
Tony's going to end up being like an expert witness at a trial.
Exactly.
Excuse me, Tony. Can you please tell me how this individual died?
Oh, quite honestly, I ruled it as a natural died of natural causes.
Wait, he died of a natural diet?
No, he died of natural causes, which was accelerated with the several blows to the back of the skull by the hammer. The hammer, of course, was driven into him through the force. You know, like
all right. Let's Jesus.
Can we go back on the court record for that?
Sounds like my 9-year-old making up lies to me.
Then Luke Skywalker shows up.
But Your Honor, I will say this, that the natural cause did not complete until the individual fell out several stories.
Okay. All right, what else did it say, Andrew?
I was traumatized. What would you do? Kolfler told the Associated Press on Saturday. I'm not some nutball. People think I am, but I'm not.
If you're living with a dead corpse, you're not normal. You're just not.
Kolfler told police he found his brother dead in a chair and eventually moved the body to the bathroom as it was in the way, according to a court document.
Well,
he was providing housing.
You're not normal. Something is wrong with you.
He told the investigators that he knew his mother was dying, but didn't want to be around when she died. So he left the house to drive around for a couple of hours.
And how did the brother die? That's what I
causes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you,
Scientist
expert
Tony.
witness Tony.
Expert witness Tony.
The natural causes evidenced by the knife in the throat.
With glasses and a lab coat and like one of those laser pointers. I want it to be a Patreon video special.
Yes.
And he tries to explain something as simple like rain. Just watch him go.
Rain happens when the angels from the clouds
please let us do this.
And they relieve themselves.
We need to do this.
It has to happen, guys.
No.
Halloween costume for Tony.
Wow.
When Kofler returned from his drive,
Stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I'm ready to go, Mike.
No.
Ma, quiet.
When Kofler returned from his drive, his mother was dead in her bed as he returned. Kofler hid the deaths from his family members.
Did he speak for them?
Family members.
He did like Weekend at Bernie's.
No, they're fine.
CBS News reported he even sent out Christmas cards saying his brother and mom were in bad health, but did not want any visitors or phone calls.
Yeah, he was up to something.
Yeah.
He was up to something. He was touching the body parts. He was doing something freaky. Something.
Police initially accused Kofler of financial exploitation of a vulnerable adult, but apparently lacked evidence to support the charge and dropped it.
What else do we have in the news?
Sure.
I can't get into this anymore. Go ahead.
Hillary Clinton, Obama's condemned longtime Democratic donor Harvey Weinstein.
Man, come on.
Can you say it one more time?
Weinstein.
No,
Yeah.
God, not German.
Weinstein?
He tried to like fix it by uppity it up.
Weinstein?
You go,
Weinstein, really?
Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein.
That's even worse.
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein will take over the world.
Right?
Come, Igor.
He will come. He will figure out a way to bring back Hitler. And we will take over. Harvey Weinstein, you are my hero.
Jawohl, Andrew.
Hillary Clinton and former President Barack Obama condemned disgraced Hollywood executive Harvey Weinstein on Tuesday,
Weinstein,
marking their first public comments. Marking their first public comments on the matter since reports of his alleged predatory behavior broke 5 days ago.
We need to do an IQ test on this network. ASAP. I'm going to be excluded, but everyone else.
No, you got to do it too.
I'll do it. I just don't want that to be public record.
Unless it's the highest.
Plus, I don't want to shame all of you. All right, go ahead, Andrew.
I was shocked and appalled by the revelations about Harvey Weinstein, Clinton said in a statement through her spokesman, Nick Merrill. The behavior described by women coming forward cannot be tolerated. Their courage and the support of others is critical in helping stop this kind of behavior. A statement from Obama and former First Lady Michelle Obama on Tuesday evening similarly expressed disgust at the reported actions and praised those who came forward.
That was nobody that came forward.
For years.
Yeah.
And that was nobody. Like, this whole topic kind of angers me a bit because Harvey Weinstein was a known troublemaker, douchebag, a-hole, belligerent piece of shit for the past 30 years. It wasn't a secret.
No.
They have made countless parodies in television shows and movies of his character where he degraded women and put people down. He's a bad person. The only reason why he's been tolerated is because the guy is a genius in terms of theatrical distribution and what he's done for the indie film movement. Because of him, his company founded countless people. That's the only reason why he's been tolerated.
Yep.
But it was not a mystery. It wasn't a secret. Everybody knew of his behavior. So I'm laughing today when I'm seeing all these tweets go out by people.
Oh, I'm so shocked.
And they're turning on each other. They're blasting Matt Damon. Matt Damon defends himself. Women are saying, good call for you doing this. Thank you for standing up. Nobody stood up. Everybody was silent. The only people, if you want to believe the reports, who couldn't really say anything were the people who settled with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously there was arbitration, which a lot of companies do that. And it's a law that various individuals within our government have been urged by their constituents to ban arbitration within corporations because they feel that that law was made to silence people, but that's not the case. I do arbitration as well. When I've hired people onto film sets, arbitration goes with, it's the name of the game. It's to protect your company so that if someone comes back at you for anything, let's say they decided to hate you and they called you a racist or whatever, they can't go public with that information and they can't sue you because you've agreed to file claims through arbitration. It's basically, in layman's terms, it's pure mediation. It's, hey, we choose a party, we're going to figure this out, and usually there's an exchange of money.
Or you just come to a conclusion where it ends the discussion of it.
And that's what arbitration is about. So I am for arbitration because it protects companies from individuals who like to take advantage. However, there's got to be a fix when it comes to sexual harassment. That should be a separate issue because it does tend to silence victims.
Yeah.
But also these victims are taking the money.
Don't take the money.
That's what I don't understand. They're taking the settlement when they probably should have spoken out. And I understand
it's fear.
I get it. Because if someone sexually harassed me as a male, which does happen, I admit it. I probably wouldn't say anything because it's kind of humiliating, right?
Well, okay, so I've actually dealt with this in the workplace. And I worked for Target when I was about 20 years old, and I worked in the morning. Sorry, I'm putting down my whiskey. All right, so I work in the morning, and the morning manager, like the overnight team, they stock the shelves and all that. And so that manager, I didn't really deal with him. He just would let me in the door, and then I would go do my job.
Right.
And so I had got my best friend at the time hired, and she told me that he told her some things that he would like to do to me, which were very sexual, and it made me very uncomfortable because I didn't really talk to him.
Then she married him.
And then there's Mike. And so it made me super, super uncomfortable because I didn't have a relationship with him. I didn't really talk to him.
He's just the guy who...
He was a creeper.
In the back room.
Yeah. And so that made me really uncomfortable, and it put me in a weird position because I'm like, do I tell HR? He's been with the company 20 years. My best friend told me, so I don't know if it's exactly true.
Right.
But it made me really, really uncomfortable. So I eventually told HR, and then he got fired from the company.
Okay, so I do understand why people would remain silent. So that's not my problem. I'm talking about victims. I understand why they would stay silent, but everybody else knew about it.
People who knew but were not victims should have done something.
And I'm not talking about Matt Damon. I'm not talking about Russell Crowe. I'm not talking about George Clooney. I'm not talking about the obvious, because I'm not exaggerating when I say everybody knew of Harvey's behavior. It was a known, ongoing joke of this belligerent Hollywood executive.
Yeah.
It shouldn't come as a surprise that he sexually harassed women. The guy was always seen with a bunch of hot women. He was vocal when he would put people in their place, both females and male. This is something it's not even a secret. That's why it's so mind-blowing to me that people are now speaking out and saying, good for you for speaking out. Good for you for standing up. What about you, Lena Dunham, telling Hollywood males need to start standing up? Lena Dunham, you've been in the business now for going on 10 years, and you're telling me you never heard the rumors and mingled with Harvey Weinstein at his plush parties?
Oh, she was right there with him. Don't worry.
That's what I'm saying. Rose McGowan was on the red carpet multiple times after the said sexual harassment. So everybody is complicit.
Yeah. People are afraid of losing their jobs, of not getting another one, and people, it's easier to be quiet.
It turned it into a joke. That's my point. They turned him into a joke, and everybody shrugged it off and said, "Oh, that's Harvey, good old Harvey being a douchebag again." And that's why it's really hard for me to feel for all, or to not want to throw up when I see these people on the internet turning on each other, these celebrities. And what about you, since you knew of this?
They all knew about it.
Everybody knew. It wasn't a secret. It wasn't a secret. George Clooney coming out saying he's appalled. George, come on.
You freaking knew.
Yeah, everybody knew.
Especially at parties where everyone is drunk.
Everybody should be ashamed of themselves in Hollywood. They shouldn't be pointing fingers. That's what you see today on social media. All these celebrities are pointing fingers and getting on their soapbox, and yet unless you've been in the business for less than 5 years, you're complicit. You are.
It's just the mob mentality all over.
Everyone's trying to save their careers now. That's what it is.
Let me get on the right boat now.
It fits their agenda at the moment. That's why they're speaking out.
And me, because I'm all about hypocrisy. That's what always gets my goat, no matter what. And if you look at the politics of this all, why is this coming out now? That's the first thing that should be questioned. And I'm not talking about the women who are silenced. Why didn't they come forward? I don't ever side with that agreement. When people say, well, why didn't she come forward sooner? You can't say those things unless you're in that position.
You don't know the circumstances.
So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you got to question why now. Why, after this has been known, why is it coming out now? And then figure it out. According to various reports, the Weinstein Company has been on a downward spiral in terms of management and the amount of money they're making. Their movies have not been making as much money as they would like. There is a lot of rumor for the past 2 or 3 years that the board at Weinstein's company, Weinstein, is very unhappy with Harvey's leadership.
And that's why.
So why suddenly... Exactly.
That's what I said. It fits all their agendas.
Exactly. So why suddenly is the New York Times going to run this article? It's because his brother gave them the go-ahead and said, now you can run the articles. And all the stuff that's been backed up for the past 15 years, release it all. Because they wanted an excuse to get rid of them.
Yep.
So that's why I'm upset about it. It's hypocritical when everyone now is voicing their opinion because the cat's out of the bag, when the reason why the cat's out of the bag is because there's various parties that wanted it out so they can put in new management.
Yep.
That's what irks me about this entire thing.
It should have happened years ago, regardless of what you could benefit from it.
Yeah.
And now here it is. Oh, now that I can make money, or now that it works for me, now I'll say something.
Right.
That's a terrible way to do anything.
All right. What else do we have in the news, Andrew?
Roger Goodell tells NFL.
Who?
Goodell?
Weinstein?
Just tells NFL.
If you don't know the name, just watch a YouTube video with a news anchor saying the name beforehand.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Thomas, because you know what I do when I see names I don't know how to pronounce?
What?
Because I do a lot of foreign discussions. You know what I do?
Google Translate.
Pronunciation.com.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, you should.
Yep. And they tell you how to pronounce. Yeah. All right, what else?
So, Roger Goodell tells NFL owners everyone should stand for the national anthem.
Mm-hmm. Good for him.
The NFL commissioner said on Tuesday,
not because I'm against the kneel. You know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let you finish.
Sure.
Okay.
Right, Kanye, calm down.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, wrote a letter to all 32 league owners regarding the protests that have taken place during the national anthems. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported. In the letter, which Schefter shared on his Facebook page, Goodell wrote that the current dispute over the national anthem is threatening to erode the unifying power of our game and is now dividing us and our players from many fans across the country.
We've defeated rapists and murderers. Don't let this take us down.
Yeah. God damn it.
Last year, former San Francisco quarterback...
I like how he's pretending like they don't have a bunch of problems. One guy, didn't he commit suicide and kill his kids and his wife about 4 or 5 years ago? And then you had a guy actually murder someone in the desert and then took his own life in prison.
Yeah. Aaron Hernandez.
And then you had various members from the Broncos about 10 or 12 years ago who returned to the hood and shot up a neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, who was that guy that knocked out his wife and dragged her out of the elevator?
Yeah. That's right.
Ray Rice, right?
I like how this is the final straw. Come on, guys.
It's Donald Trump. White privilege.
Oh, come on.
That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Last year, former San Francisco quarterback Colin Kaepernick sat down
Copernicus.
Copernicus sat down and later took a knee during the playing of the national anthem as a protest against racial injustice.
Mm-hmm.
More players have joined the protest, and President Donald Trump spoke out against the activity in September and has continued to do so.
Yet again, the reason why Goodall is voicing his thoughts now is because the smoke is settled. He already cashed the check that the government has paid them to promote patriotism, which isn't a conspiracy. That is what happens. Why do you think they have, the military section at sports arenas where the military sits? And I don't have a problem with that. That's part of their recruitment. That's what they do. They're an industry just like everything else who's paying to promote. So along with those dollars comes the Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem. So Goodall wants to make sure he's making good because they already cashed the check.
Yep.
So guys, the smoke is settled. You've said your thing. Now we need to make sure that the government, the United States government, the Pentagon is getting their money's worth.
Did you know?
But the problem is, Tony, don't ever interrupt me.
Okay.
That's so stupid. But the biggest issue with this is that he should have done this a long time ago. He's the big boss, the man in charge. He should have probably set the rules a long time ago and said, hey guys, you're my employees.
He's pathetic.
You're going to do what I tell you to do. And now he's doing it after all this controversy has happened because their numbers are dropping. Their ratings are dropping continually. They've been suffering not because of this. They've been suffering, period, for the last 2 or 3 years. They've seen, a downward trend in their ratings, which is very rare for the NFL. That's never happened to them. So there is a mindset and a social appetite that has changed for football, probably due to a lot of the controversy.
Yeah.
Because there's too much politics that's seeping into everything. Just like I was talking about the mobile gaming, how I can't even play my video game anymore without seeing some political rhetoric. It's just enough is enough. We have Jimmy Fallon. We have Jon Stewart. We have Colbert. We have Trevor Noah. Jimmy Kimmel. All these people are shoving politics down our throat. And it's not just a funny joke. It's actual political diatribe. It isn't even like a funny joke. I have no problem people using headlines of the time. That's what comedy does. They use the headlines of the time, but it's ongoing, incessant, just shoving it down your nostril.
Yeah.
It's a useless debate, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is.
No, because honestly, I don't think anybody realized out of all the 4 major sports, the NFL was the last one to have players stand for the national anthem, and they didn't start doing that until 2009.
Yeah, because they received a big fat check. That's why.
Exactly. Very good.
All right, let's end this show. We'll talk to everybody later. Thank you for sitting in. We'll see everybody next week. And we will come back in a few moments with the No Talent Autistic Post Show with the one and only Andrew Spindler.
Thank you for listening to The Rain Man Show with your host, Michael Flores, with hosts Tony Sabal and Thomas Cowley, Andrew Spindler with the news, audio guru Dustin Lucas, produced by Michael Flores and Dustin Lucas. The Rain Man Show is a Cazador Productions and Rain Man Digital broadcast production. For all things Rain Man, go to rainmanshow.com.
What should they? I ain't nobody got nothing in my pocket.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rain Man No Talent Autistic Post Show with me, Andrew. Of course, I got Thomas here, as usual.
Hello, hello, hello.
I got Tony.
Hey.
And I got Maggie. Hi, Maggie.
Hey.
Hi.
Someone else to help you through this 15 minutes?
It's going to be a huge air quotes with the help, because it's just going to
be... We can only do so much.
Right. I try.
We'll do it. We got this.
So, actually, Maggie, you can help me out with the first thing that I want to talk about here.
Okay.
How frequently is Mike playing Magic?
At least a few times a week.
That makes me so happy.
I think they've played about 5 rounds they've managed, and he's won them all.
Yeah.
So far, I will let you guys definitely know when he loses.
Now, as I'm sure your son will as well, but Has they kicked in that he wants to buy like more product yet? Has he had?
It hasn't gotten that far because it's still super, super new, and it's about. I think they're about a week in from them actually getting to play in that time. But he enjoys it.
How many decks does he have now?
From his kitchen table, it looks like you guys have 3.
I think it is 3.
I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
And they're all
You guys are
pre-phones.
super proud right now. I see it in your eyes. You're like,
dude, everybody in this room goes super far back with Magic. The only reason I know Thomas is because of Magic.
Yeah.
I know
Really?
that. I know that sooner or later. I think for Christmas you should buy him like one of those card carrying things, so that he could like bring his decks with him.
He's going to eventually need them.
He actually asked
gear and everything.
He's asked to take them to school
And a
already.
play
We're
mat.
at that point.
That's
so
a bad idea.
Oh no, he's not taking them to
I'm
school.
talking
but
about
I'm,
Mike.
Oh my!
I'm talking about Mike. You know, get Mike a playmat and a container.
Should I like paint his name on there with some flowers and
Get
glitter?
one for him.
absolutely.
Get one
Okay.
for the both of them.
Okay.
A different
Okay.
playmat and a container.
Oh
so
wait,
that-
there's mats. Okay, you guys.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
okay,
the-
you guys are going to nerd out. I need to know all the deets.
The realm of Magic accessories is ridiculous. So you have
Real quick, I like how Tony's like playmats, and Andrew's like, "Let me tell you about accessories."
Yeah.
There you
It's
go.
the
Yeah.
playmat.
Accessories.
so you've got deck boxes, which
Yes.
are just flip tops,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Put
yeah.
your deck in it.
Yeah,
Straightforward.
yeah,
You got card
yeah.
sleeves.
Exactly.
Put your dick in it.
Get matching
can. I mean-
sleeves and matching boxes for the both of them.
Yeah.
So that'll be like a father-son bonding thing.
It'll
Oh
be
my
cute.
word!
Yeah.
Oh my word, guys!
Yeah.
So
You
have
got Christmas
I was not
planned for the
prepared for
next
this.
3 years.
you got
Okay,
card
okay.
sleeves, which are basically just card
yeah, we
condoms for
definitely need
protection.
those.
You definitely
Yes,
need
yes.
those.
You'll have
We-
to go shopping with Andrew. So like, you know, like
You
instead
wanna
of
go
mall
shopping, Andrew?
Yeah.
I will show up next week with a grab bag of just shit.
Love it.
And then you got playmats, which are just like neoprene wetsuit material,
Okay.
but rubber.
And so you play it on the table on top of the mat, so you don't deal with like the crud that's on the table when you're at a public event.
Oh
But
my
you can
word!
also
This is so
design them.
nerdy. Wait, I don't want to get my cards dirty, so I have the
If the
sleeves and the
people
mats
you're
on
playing
them.
with
Oh,
have
yeah.
been known to shit themselves and continue playing, real story.
Fact.
Wait,
that
actually,
My
like
brother played a dude who shit his pants at an
he
event.
Was it at a
actually
PTQ?
poop came out of his butt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And continued to play.
Was he wearing a diaper?
I don't
Probably
know.
not.
I don't
Wait, how
remember.
does he know he shat himself?
Because my brother overheard the phone call where he told the person that he needed new pants and underwear. And the smell was distinct.
Was it
Is
at a
that the
PTQ
wall that you
or-
hit when you walk into?
Yeah, that's the smell.
Yeah.
So for all the good that magic brings, there is some bad. So
Oh, for sure.
stay up on the hygiene as he hits puberty.
Well, yeah,
And that goes
no.
for Mike too.
Yeah.
So you got card sleeves,
Okay.
playmats.
Okay, no. What else?
What else we
What
got?
else in
Give
the
her a
news?
list later.
Okay, fine.
God damn it.
This did segue into the board game show that we are working on. We will be airing our first test pilot episode in either the first or second week of November. I did a record test episode on Saturday, and not podcasting for board games for 3 years, it's very evident that it's I need to relearn this skill. Like there were so many
rough.
It was so rough. There were so many just hard full stops and just like a minute or 2 minutes of just silence of like,
Horse sand in a condom rough.
yes, absolutely.
Dear God.
You're welcome.
All right, let's move on.
I do want to touch about the Szechuan sauce a little bit because there are two
Stupid.
huge things going on with this Szechuan stuff, right? Rick and Morty, of course, being the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Second, they're tying it into a promotion for their new chicken tenders. Their buttermilk chicken tendies or whatever they're
I
calling
had
them.
no idea.
That's
Right.
a terrible name.
It's awful.
Mhm.
My tendies.
Tendies? That sounds
I don't want
really
anything to do with
bad.
that.
Yeah, I don't want any tendies. I'll take tenders, but no tendies.
So for all of the sauce, they're coupling it as like dipping sauce and nuggets. And they're
Yeah,
doing the whole
yeah,
thing
yeah.
and
They
stuff.
add, when you order nuggets or whatever, you're like, what sauce do you want?
But that's
yeah.
a core part of the advertisement, right? So they went
Oh,
out
so they're
and they went to
marketing the
design.
tenders with the actual.
They went out to
Milan
design
sauce.
studios and
Okay.
they had artists make posters for each one of their sauces. They threw the Szechuan sauce in there because of the success that the April Fool's episode of Rick and Morty had.
Mm-hmm.
So this isn't like just something that's been tacked on or sauce that's been left over from ages ago. This is a huge deal. Well, right, but there was an opportunity. It could have been a bigger promotion.
Here's what I think it was. I think between the new tenders and between Rick and Morty's popularity over the last year, McDonald's executives and marketing were like, okay, there's an opportunity here to make some money, but they didn't want to throw all the money into production of a sauce that was 20 years old. So they probably had some formula or some small amount that they used in the beginning as let's do a one-day promotional, see how that works, and then we'll have the full launch in the winter, which went terribly.
So there were 4 gallons of Szechuan sauce
in the nation
that were sent to social media influencers about a month and a half ago.
I'm just assuming that these execs are like 80 years old and have no fucking clue of what
40,
happens.
50,
yeah,
50
they probably don't even know who Rick and Morty is.
Exactly.
Absolutely
Exactly. That's the only conclusion that I can come to, because
it makes no sense any other way why they would just be like, let's give 4 gallons to the nation,
to 4 very specific people. Like, these are high-level social media people.
One place is not enough.
No, okay, so they give
hold on. Wait. So
the 4 gallons went to 4 different people.
They're influencers. Okay.
70 for the promotion for the one day only on Saturday or whichever day it was.
Okay, so they gave the 4 people the sauce, and then they also had it at the 76.
So there
locations?
were 70 store locations in the entire country that were to get the Szechuan sauce for a one-day event.
Okay.
Those stores only got a maximum of 25 sauce packets.
But that's what I'm saying. None of that makes any goddamn sense.
does.
Why would you do that?
Because do you want the outrage? Do you want the want of it? And
it's like
or
the
is
McRib.
it? Are you fucking clueless and you have no idea of what's going on?
The McRib is McDonald's perfect advertising as to this is when it's available and this is how we make money and this is how we generate hype.
Yeah.
The Szechuan sauce is a 75-year-old executive saying, "Fuck it, what do we have left? Whatever, get out of my office," and doesn't understand what Rick and Morty is.
Yeah, we'll do it.
And only after the outrage to finally get their attention do they decide, let's actually do this and let's do it right in the winter. That's the only way this kind of thing would happen in my mind, because somebody fucked up.
Yeah, big
You're
time.
McDonald's.
Big time.
Name one fucking business that's bigger than McDonald's.
Yeah.
Disney.
Yeah, maybe.
I
think they're on the same playing field.
Those mysterious boardroom companies, you're the biggest fast food restaurant in the world.
You would think before they did the release, they would do their research.
Yeah. So
their market research to see.
That's what the 4 gallons were supposed to be. Anyway,
4 gallons.
No. But okay, so the if you're an influencer, you get things sent to you and you get to promote it. It's not, but you okay? What the hell am I going to do with a gallon of Mulan sauce?
Mulan sauce.
Like, seriously, I'm going to post it on Instagram and be like, hey, this is good, but you can't get it.
Yeah.
So
most of my followers are younger than this sauce.
Yeah, they
that's what you're doing.
They
dude.
don't watch Rick and Morty, but I got the sauce.
It's just stupid the way McDonald's did the whole thing.
Yeah.
This winter though, it will be a seasonal item this year. It will be coming back,
and next year, and the year after that.
Maybe if it does well, maybe it'll be a staple.
I think
Who
it's
knows?
going to play out. I think they're going to get
as long as
one.
Rick and Morty's popular, it'll sell, and then it'll stop.
As long as they keep doing the joke, then then it's not going to matter because people already forgot about it.
Yeah.
The writers of the show are already upset that they made the joke.
The writers of the show hate their own, love and hate their own fans.
Dan Harmon and stuff.
Well, they had no idea what it was going to be.
The fandom for that is insane.
And
I like the show.
I love the show, but the fandom it's just
insane.
It's the internet. It's literally
it literally
the internet.
is the internet.
And you can't do anything right. But they're still going to watch it.
Yep.
It's Star Wars all over again.
Right.
You can't do right. Fireman traditions and watermelon.
Did you Google fireman traditions so we could go in depth with
I
this?
didn't Google them, no, but I was just surprised that Mike didn't know that firemen were known for cookouts and chili.
Because I think
they do.
They're more commonly known for putting out fucking fires.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the kind of person Mike is. He's going to know that much and move on.
That's all you need to know.
He doesn't care.
You just watch the movie Backdraft and you're good to go for life.
His research is Backdraft. Tony's research with, racial issues in America is Django Unchained.
And proven science.
Your proven science is questionable.
No,
we absolutely need to do a Rain Man special video episode event.
Tony
something.
does science. Whoa.
Tony Sabal, the science guy.
Oh God!
I cannot wait for that. What did you say?
How was for future generations?
How did scientist Tony Sabal say that rain was made?
Rain is properly made, Andrew.
Properly made. Not actually made. You can make different ways of making rain.
It is proven fact that rain is made from the angels in the clouds. When they are full after all the wine and beer that they've drank after their recent festival, they need to relieve themselves.
I like how you've mixed wine or angels with wine-swilling Romans from like their orgies back in the day.
Please, Thomas.
Then again, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a cloud doctor.
Exactly.
I'm not going to claim to be.
No,
you're not a scientist like Tony.
Yeah, so Andrew, just to explain to you that the angels from high above need to relieve themselves after a long night of drinking and partying, and that's where the rain comes from their relief, and it's sterile. So it's like it's not. It's
I don't
safe.
think it's.
Yes, it's.
I don't think rainwater is sterile.
Thomas, quiet, please. Please.
I'm going to get the dunce cap and sent to the corner of the classroom here in a minute.
How dare you question science?
Everything about what you're saying hurts my soul.
You know, your soul is actually made of.
No, but that needs to be a Halloween.
It does,
thing.
absolutely.
I can totally see it now.
Fully produced.
Yep.
Maybe the listeners should be sending in to Mike questions.
Send your questions for Mad Scientist Tony to Michael Flores or the Rain Man Show on Twitter, and then we will eventually put that into something. That'll be amazing.
Hashtag truth.
No, don't.
Yes, hashtag truth.
God
the truth is out there?
Yes.
Believe.
Exactly.
All right,
speaking
I got
of
it.
hashtags, the Make TC Buy petition.
Still going strong.
Still going strong. We're up to 40 signatures. We got
shit, really?
Four signatures tonight as of my last count.
I signed it. Just FYI.
So there are 37. We're still up by 5.
Okay.
From the show tonight though. That's crazy. So, let's see here if I can
And now there's going to be a whole special episode where Randy and some other secret guests that Mike does not want to tell me about are going to reveal things. So I may have to talk to people about that, but we'll see what happens.
And that's all we got for the No Talent Autistic Rain Man post show.
And also, I forgot about the Does Thomas Know segment. We'll do it next week.
There we go.
Sure.
Leading up to the big hashtag.
Go sign that petition. We need to have Thomas drink a nice bottle of wine. Thank you all for joining us on the post show. We'll see you next time. Buzz your butt.